Hello and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. I'm your host Anthony. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you enjoy what you're seeing and if you want to see more. Coming up in this episode, we catch up with all the playoff fixtures that have been played so far in the Betfred Championship and League One, and a much needed catch up on the women's game, and we begin with the Betfred Women's Super League South. So we're starting this episode with a place where we should be covering a whole lot more because it grows the sport in many different directions. And an apology from myself as I've not been able to cover it as much as I would like to. Yes, I did bits for like the Challenge Cup final at Ellen Road for the women's game, but the South have been lacking in my coverage during this season, and I do apologise about that, especially to Cardiff Demons who keep me in the loop with a few things. I do appreciate that, and I do apologise. But it's the women's game that we're going to cover, and it's a summary for the entire season now that both have been completed over the last few days. We're going to start with the Southern League, as that ended over a month ago now. So here is my little two-penneth. So we're starting the South with the Cornish Rebels, as they were supposed to be included in the 2022 Super League South season, but due to non-participation in a few games at the beginning of the season, they were withdrawn from the league by the South Committee, which left us with a 16 league. That left the 5 teams: Cardiff Demons Rugby League, who are the champions, Betfred Tigers from London, the Army Rugby League, more of them in a moment, the Old Golds and London Broncos, left from last season's inaugural campaign, while there was a welcome addition to the league from Oxford Cavaliers, which showed that the women's game was expanding a little bit more. The Army, though, weren't supposed to compete in this year's league, but thanks to their endeavour and their ultimate pride in keeping the game going, as well as players who have come through the sport playing for England and Wales and all of the like coming through the Army's ranks, they put a development team together who put in some good performances, individual and as a team, throughout the 2022 season, as well as introducing new people in the Army to the sport. So congratulations to them. Unlike the 2021 season, they had a full league fixture list where every team in the league played each other. They didn't separate them into East and West conferences. They were all part of the same league. Due to the World Cup year, each team played each other once, and due to other commitments, obviously, with the Army. But a league was completed, and it was London Broncos who took the league leaders' shield with 5 wins from their 5 games. Cardiff Demons came second and were only beaten by London Broncos along the way. The Army were third with 3 wins from their 5 games, with Betfred Tigers with 2, Bristol Golden Ferns with 1, and the Oxford Cavaliers in the first year, don't forget, putting on some okay performances, some encouraging signs from their 5 games played. And with that, an end of season playoffs format was set up, as London Broncos got Betfred Tigers first v fourth, while Cardiff Demons got the Army in the second versus third clash. The first playoff semi-final went the way of the Cardiff Demons, as they won 30 points to 16 over the Army. Played at the Military Stadium in Aldershot, the Army were able to get over the try line 3 times with Jenna Greening and 2 from Beth and Dainton, while Kaya Glynn converted 2 from the 3 attempts. The Cardiff Demons, who are mostly the Welsh international side, have Ellery Michael, Brittany Price, Rosie Carr, Molly Reardon, Charlie Munday and Bryony King, all to thank for their 6 tries. Charlie Mundy converted 3 from 6 attempts on the day, so that Cardiff could go through to the final. In the second half of the draw, played on the Sunday following, and also on our league app, live from the Cherry Red Record Stadium in Wimbledon, London Broncos beat Bedford Tigers 44 points to 6. Rosie Kearns, Sophie Messon, Lauren Mueller, Iona McClusker, Kirsty Lee Griffiths, Emily Hughes, Abby Gordon, Jess Ingram and Sophie Tauchert were the try scorers, while Courtney Traco, the captain, converted 4 from 6. There was a late consolation from Lauren Poole, who scored the Bedford's only try, and Caroline Colley got the conversion to complete the scoring on the day. That only left one question and one match remaining in the Super League South, and that was Cardiff Demons versus the London Broncos, in who it was going to be the second ever Women's Super League South champions. There was initially thought that the home of the Cardiff Demons was going to be the venue for the finals, because it was a big old venue. They could advertise it properly and do very, very well. But scheduling conflicts and the change of times of certain events means that the stadium wasn't available. So they moved it to the place where they held the Women's Rugby League game between Wales and England. Still in Wales, the picturesque Pandy Park in Cross Keys was a great event that they put on for the Wales versus England game earlier in the season, so it was perfect for the final. The pitch played well. Cardiff had just missed out on scoring the first try of the game on the 7th minute, but Charlie Mundy's run and support from Molly Reardon, who found Leanne Burnell, who went in the corner for the first try of the game. A great run, great effort and a great play. Good running by the second rower, who found her player in support, offload and another pass out wide, unselfish, and the fullbacks in. Cardiff were in again, and not too long after Amberley Rook threw a dummy, delayed the pass and found Charlie Mundy in support, who went in for a try of her own. She weren't able to convert the first one, but she was able to convert her own on the second. Great dummy, great gap to find, and then a delayed pass for her second rower, who did great in support to score. London, though, were not done, and they were on the attack, expansive, using a bit of play, getting over the advantage line, and offloading in the tackle. Unfortunately, this play came to an end, and it was on the last, so London decided to kick. The kick went up by Courtney Traco under some pressure, but it was fielded by Leanne Burnell. No chasers, unfortunately, and there was broken line defence, and Burnell found her winger Michael, who has a turn of pace on her, beating all comers to race 80 metres in the to score in the corner. Fantastic effort. Cardiff were romping away, 14 points to 0. Attacking intent from the off, Leanne Burnell, it was 90 metres out, blinking heck. And then it was just a race, catch me if you can. And the winger beat everyone. No one could catch her. She was going all the way. And it was a try worthy of a grand final. London, though, hit back before half time as Kirsty Lee Griffiths sets up Lauren Mueller to go over in the corner. Courtney Traco wasn't able to land this conversion, but there was hope for the Broncos now that there were just 14 points to fall down. After a slow play of the ball and a drawing, a strong carry, the ball was used to go left, and adding Messam into the line, an overlap was created, and that was Mueller's try. And at half-time it was 14 points to 4, and just after half-time Jan Burnell scored again, and it was a great effort from over the halfway line. Great effort from the Welsh international. Cardiff was showing some great attacking flair and individual brilliance. Burnell is sure to show things up in the World Cup. They didn't get there, Wales. My apologies. But they made more up about it. And when Bryony King went over right to the posts, as their captain is congratulated by her teammates for that simple try in the end. An offload from Katie Carr opened up a gap for the skipper, and Monday converted to make it 24 points to 4 to the Welsh outfit. The Dragons look unstoppable now, and Rook was on hand to pass to Michael to score her second try after the play had almost broke down. An offload was passed to Rook, and Rook found Michael out on the wing, like good wingers are, holding her chalk. It's tiring Broncos defence, as you can see. Not many facing up on coming towards the tackler. Theorem communicating, tried to scramble over. And at one point you thought the winger had gone back inside, and Emily Rook was in support, got the offload, and it was Michael who went over. The final try of the game came to the Dragons. It was in the last minute, and it was a deserved hat-trick from Burnell, and she got on the outside of the centre defenders to score under the post. Monday converted, and that is when the celebration started, as the Cardiff Demons went on to victory, scoring 34 points to 4 victory. And the celebrations did go on as Cardiff became two-time Women's Super League South winners after winning 2021 and 2022. It's a huge congratulations to them, and hopefully they'll keep going from strength to strength with the teams that are around them also helping with the growth of this Southern League. Looking in the long run, I'm looking for a unified Women's Super League so that all the teams play against each other, north and south, relegation, promotion, so on and so forth, where we see Betfred playing Huddersfield, Wigan playing the Army, Cardiff playing Leeds, etc, etc. And you'll see why I mentioned that in the next episode. But there is huge potential now if it's promoted right. We've got a South champions. Could they play the North champions in a friendly or even a UK championship game? I hope so. It's something that they could promote quite easily, and I'm sure the Sportsman, Our League, even Channel 4 or Fireplay would be willing to promote and help show the game off. We've got some good rugby league players in this country and in Wales as well, so why not play them? We'll find out what's the next plans, and I do hope that people at the top, like Thomas Brindle, who's in charge of the women's game in Wales, do take that on board and see what the potential is for that sort of situation. Let's now go to the men's game and the Betfred Championship and League One, as both leagues are starting their playoff campaigns, with the Betfred Championship just opening up on week 1, while League One is now up to League 2. And we've not been able to, well, I've not covered it myself, so We're making up with lost time. And that's why we're going for League One first, so that you can get up to date with everything that's going on. So here's how the graph works for the League One playoffs. Yes, there's a lot of information, but as the weeks go on, I'll show you how it becomes more and more simple. So, Week 1 sees third face fourth, which is North Wales Crusaders, facing Doncaster. This is the second chance final, so no matter what happens, they move into Week 2, both sides. Whereas Rochdale Hornets face Oldham in this local derby, and the winners go on to Week 2, while the losers are eliminated from the playoffs, leaving us with 4 teams. Swinton are the preferential ones in Week 2 because they finished second in the league. They get home advantage as well due to that preferential treatment, and they will face the winner of the Crusaders versus Doncaster. The loser of that game faces the winner of Rochdale versus Oldham. We'll go on to the latter rounds as we go on. So here is the first of the Week 1 games. First of all, Doncaster overcame North Wales Crusaders by 26 points to 12. Ben Johnson got the try scoring before Jason Talley scored twice on the 18th and the 28th minute. Travis Corrigan scored on the 33rd minute before second half tries from North Wales Crusaders Rob Matham and Tom Johnson even got them on the board. Sam Smeaton completed the try scoring in the game for Doncaster, and they went through to face Swinton in the next round. Connor Robinson completed the scoring with 3 conversions from his 5 attempts, while Tom Johnson added 2 conversions to the 2 tries. In the second game, it was defences on top as Rochdale Hornets beat Oldham 38 points to 24. Good 62 points in this game. The try scoring actually started with Oldham as Joe Hartley got over the try line. Ben Foster, Gavin Benyon with 2, Kean Tyra, Greg McNally, Connor Asprey and Rangi Chase got the tries for Rochdale Hornets, while Tyra kicked 5 goals in total, one of which being a penalty. Owen Restall, Kean Morgan got the other tries as well as Hartley's second, before Matt Ridyard converted 4 from his 6 attempts. Oldham don't make it into Week 2, while Rochdale go on to face North Wales Crusaders. Now we go on to Week 2 results, and Week 2 was this weekend as Saturday and Sunday saw the 2 games. Saturday was North Wales Crusaders versus Rochdale Hornets, while Sunday saw Swinton Lions enter the playoff picture, being at their rated number, well, they finished second place and rated number 1 in the playoff picture, face Doncaster at Haywood Road. Saturday's game saw North Wales Crusaders crash out of the playoffs, not winning a game during their period. And it's Rochdale Hornets who move on. They had Ben Calland, Dan Nixon with 2 tries, Fenton Rogers, Greg McNally, Connor Asprey and Daniel Bewin to thank for all their tries, while Kean Tyra kicked 4 goals out of his 8 attempts. For North Wales Crusaders, they had a try for Patrick Arvan to thank, and Greg Rodden with twice, as well as Matthew Fletcher for all going over the whitewash, while Tom Johnson kicked 2 out of the 4 conversion attempts. Then we move on to Sunday's game, where Swinton Lions beat Doncaster 32 points to 12. Rodri Lloyd got the try scoring up and running before Jack Hansen, Mike Butt, Mitchell Cox all scored before half-time. After half-time, Alex Holdstock got Doncaster on the board, which was followed up by a Ben Johnston try. Lewis Brogan completed the try scoring with a 53rd minute try for Swinton, while Dan Abrams kicked 6 out of his 7 attempts at goal. Watson Boas converted the 2 tries of Doncaster. That means one important bit of information has been confirmed, with Swinton Lions going on to the grand final in the Betfred League One. That leaves one game left to be played in the semi-finals for week 3, with Doncaster facing Rochdale Hornets to face Swinton Lions at Haywood Road for promotion into the Championship. Now we go on to the playoff picture for the Betfred Championship, as 6 teams are competing for the chance of getting promoted to Super League via the £1 million game. There are only 3 weeks of this round by round knockout competition. So, how does it work? How does 6 go into 2 for the final? So, it's first of all, Halifax get to face York City Knights in the first game, as Halifax were 3rd and York were in 6th at the end of the season. Barrow Raiders face Batley Bulldogs, as they were 4th and 5th respectively. Halifax gets home advantage for the higher position, as does Barrow Raiders. The winners of these 2 games move on to the semi-finals, and the other 2 go home. Lee Centurions will get the preferential treatment of who finished lower on the ladder in the regular season to be their opponents at the Lee Sports Village, while Featherstone get the higher ranks of the 4 teams in the semi-final. The first game was a turn-up for the Bucks, as York City Knights won a close one, 26 points to 24 against Halifax. Joe Brown had just responded from a Ben Kavanagh try from the Halifax Panthers, while Lachlan Walmsley scored a hat-trick for the Panthers, all before half-time. Will Jubb scored in the first half for York to keep them in with a chance, before Liam Harris and Levi Edwards scored the tries to keep them tied up. James Glover scored 2 conversions from those 4 tries, while Joe Keys kicked 3 of his 4 conversions. Penalties after half-time for Joe Keys on the 59th minute, one for Glover in the first half, and then another on the 64th minute was set up for a 24-all game. But on the 71st minute, it was York City Knights penalty from James Glover that sent them over the edge to win the game and move on to week 2, where they get to face Lee. So here is the second game, and it was the more fancy Barrow Raiders who lost this semi-final, with Batley Bulldogs coming through 18 points to 8 victors. The penalty in the first half was the only points to cover the first half, as Ryan Shaw kicked Barrow into the lead for 2-0. Before Batley scored after half-time through Johnny Campbell, and a try either side. Ellis Gilm's try for Barrow saw Alistair Leake score twice for Batley. Tom Gilmore converted all 3 tries for Batley, while Ryan Shaw converted Ellis Gilm's try. Batley will now go on to face Featherstone in the next round. And here is the next round confirmed. After their victory over Halifax Panthers, it will see them facing Lee Centurions at the Lee Sports Village, while Batley Bulldogs will travel to the Millennium Stadium in Featherstone to face the Rovers. The grand final will be the week later, and it's the £1 million game, which will get preferential treatment from all TV people. It'll be live on Premier Sports, or will it be via Play by the time that comes around? But hey, fantastic results from Batley Bulldogs, in my opinion. So I'm going to leave the episode there. There's a lot to go through, but thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share the video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any updates or new videos that may be coming your way. I know what a lot of you are going to say, where's the Women's Super League North? Well, I'll tell you, it's in tomorrow's episode. I just made a judgment call late on that there was a lot to go through in the Women's South, so I'd bring you the Women's North season review in tomorrow's episode. Simply put, it breaks it up so that you guys can digest it all and give it its due diligence. What this sport needs for the women's game and what the women's game deserves to be seen. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. I will now wish you all the best, so please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.